Today on Stone Fisted Prop Shop, Part 2 in the Mandalorian Armor making series. Now you're in Part 2 of the Mandalorian Armor making series here on Stone Fisted Props. And if you didn't catch Part 1, make sure you stop the video right now, take a look at Part 1, and then come on back to this. So also, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe down below. And also, leave a comment, leave a like, tell your friends about it. This channel's here for you guys. So I want to make content that caters to helping the community. So if you have any questions on any of the techniques or tips that I've covered so far, or something that you want to see me cover in a future video, just let me know in the comments below. I'll either be able to answer it in your comments, or I may even make a video just to answer your comment. So without further ado, this one is painting and battle damage. So we're going to need our masking fluid. Okay, we're going to need some type of brush. I have several here. I have a little chip brush. You want to make sure you get some of the bristles off. Q-tips. About 2 of these. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the collar. And you want to shake up your masking fluid. And I'm going to start with the edges. I'm just going to randomly go on. And you want to think of high spots being what would get hit first, and anything that would touch another piece of metal, such as your neck here, might get hit by your helmet. You don't want it to be, straight in, so you can go and just, get a little bit in here. You can go as little or as much as you like. You don't have to, and you want to think about maybe some other damage. I'm going to try not to go too heavy on this kit. And you want to make them random. You don't want to make them look like brush marks. And what I like to do is go a little thicker on the edge and try to wrap your way around. Now this is going to dry. Okay. What I also do is I'll take the brush and then I'll drop a few drops in a couple of spots. Just like that. Okay? And you're going to leave it alone. Once this dries, apply your next coat of paint. Okay? So when I'm working on the diamond, if there's going to be some damage, I like to put the diamond up to the middle and see where the damage is on the collar. And maybe if there's a streak, you want to maybe continue it down across the chest. So maybe something got hit. And again, this is your first layer of damage. There are going to be subsequent layers, more layers than this. But this layer is going to reveal silver. So whatever you want to see silver, this is where you're going to get it. Like I said, I would take this and I would bring this here. And now since this is recessed, you know that this would get hit right here. So I'm going to go. Now you can do this with toothpaste. You can do this with, like I said, mustard, which I don't always recommend. Only because on lighter armor, you get a little bit of yellowing with the mustard. And if you have something you don't like, you can wipe it away at this stage before you go to the next stage while it's still wet. So you're not committed. And like I said, not all plates have to be the same. This is where you want to be random. Alright, so we're going to continue this step and then we're going to move on to the next step. At this stage now, I want to think of where I'm going to put those separation lines. So again, you have to be careful where you put heavy amounts of this masking fluid there, because you're going to have to apply tape to those spots. You can still do it, and I will show you how to do that. Most of this dries a little bit like a yellowish clear. When you hit that stage, that's when you can actually go in and start painting the next layer. Next up, we're going to use some Krylon Satin Black to coat the entire surface before we add our secondary, which will be edge damage. You're going to have the silver, then you'll have some thin lines of black around the silver in some random places. Also some exposed black, which will be under basically the metal primer. Okay, well, we got the black coat on, and what we want to do now is, if you take a look, you can see this is the masking fluid, and you'll see it three-dimensionally on here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go along on top of this masking fluid, feathering off a little bit around it to give us that three-dimensional look. You want to be careful when you're handling this because you can still rub it off already, and we don't want to do that just yet. So we're going to do that stage, let that dry before we apply the first color, which the first color is going to be blue. That's going to be the color that I'm going to go with as our first color. Okay, so we're going to go in and we're going to do the same steps we did with the masking fluid. Shake it up. And we're going to go in and start applying. So we want to go in different, not exactly everywhere. You could skip some areas. Okay. So I'm going to let that dry. Let me get this diamond. Last piece will be the diamond. Okay. So next step will be masking and applying our colors. Okay, so this outer edge will remain black. This will be orange. This will be black. And then this will be blue. So blue, black, orange, blue, black, blue. Okay. So now we need to transfer those lines onto all of this. Okay, so now we're going to cut these now so that later on I can lay more tape and mask off on this side, and you'll see that in a little bit. So I'm going to cut this. Basically on the opposite side, what you're going to get is you're going to have thin like that. So that's why we did this. We already cut this one. Yes, we did. Now you want to go back in through and make sure all your edges are down. And last one. Okay, now we're going to apply our blue to all the plates, and then we'll come back. Okay, so now we got the blue coat on, and we still have it masked off. So next we're going to go with the orange. Now, before I go along, I encountered a little bit of what we call orange peeling. I don't know if you can see it, some of the orange peeling on here. Now, It's not the end of the world. Some of this can be smoothed back in. At this point, you could sand this all and, you know, redo it all from scratch. But being that these are test pieces, it happened because of the humidity here. And I rushed the paint and didn't wipe it down. But I wanted to show you that because it happens to a lot of people. Don't get frustrated. If you're doing battle damage, you can work that in. If it's a little bit too much for you, you could, like I said, you could always sand everything back down to the bare Sintra, reprime it, and redo all the steps. You know, we did this pretty fast, so it's still okay to handle this way. All right, so next what we're going to do is we're going to peel off some of the tape and then mask these off. Okay, for this next step, I have a weeding tool, which is just basically a tool with a sharp point. You don't need this. You can use basically an X-Acto knife or any sharp blade. You want to carefully find your part line where you cut, and you're going to slowly pull it back. And if it didn't make the cut sharp enough, now you may pull up some of the masking, but that's okay. We're going to fix that in a minute, because we're also going to add a little bit more masking to this black. But first we want to reveal some of the black. Now we still have a line of tape here and a line of tape here. These will be black. This is going to be your orange. So we're going to use this tape to tape on top of to cover this. And for that, we're going to use aluminum foil. So I'm going to do that, and I'll come back when I'm at that. Okay, so we have our pieces stripped down. Now there are some sections here that I do still want to mask off. So we're going to get our masking fluid once again. The good thing about this is it dries pretty quickly. And now I want to be a little bit sporadic, so I'm going to use, I'll keep with the same brush. And I'm going to go a little bit on the tape, and I'm going to follow the same pieces that I had before, just in case they came up, and get a little bit on here. Okay? So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put this to the side, and I'm going to look here. I see that some of it came off the edge there. Now, I like to use aluminum foil. I get it from the dollar store. Relatively inexpensive. This is the cheaper, thinner type, but why I like it is because and you have some quick masking. I didn't have to fiddle with newspaper or anything. And again, you can use paper bags, plastic bags you get from the grocery store. You know, basically all you're doing is you're masking off an area. That's why I like the aluminum foil, because it's, you know, comes off pretty easy. Like I said, it's inexpensive. That coupled with blue painter's tape, and you can mask just about anything. What's good about the aluminum foil is it's good to, aluminum foil and plastic bags are great for helmets. Now we're going to let these dry a little bit more, but basically, yes, these are Mets colors. I can start on the diamond. What I have here is a dry paper towel, and my chest diamond, Iron Heart. And you can see all that raised detail is now about to be. And I like to pull and then smear. So the good thing about using artist masking fluid and it being a latex, it's almost like a rubber. As you roll it on itself, it grabs onto the nearby masking fluid. Now remember, in part 3, we're going to go into weathering this. This is just layering effects for battle damage, but we're going to make it even more by adding some dirt and grime to it. And if it'll focus, you'll see that it's layered in. Okay? And like I said, work your way around. Scratch it out. And then you'll have some metallic damage. Alright, so I'm going to do the rest. I'm going to wait for this to dry, do this, and then I'll come back. So, yep. So we just continue peeling our way through battle damage. Okay, so here we go. We got the battle damage on. We've got our orange stripe with our black highlights. We've got our undercoat of metal. So next up is weathering. Once we weather it, we'll seal it, and it'll be a final torso piece. All right, so. All right, well, that's it for part 2. We were able to get all our plates weathered and damaged. So in part 3, we're going to tackle weathering dirt and grime, and we're going to seal up the plates and finish off the 3-part series. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave comments below. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends, hit that like button. Also, click the notification button so that way you know when new videos are coming out. I'm going to try to drop them either every Wednesday or Thursday of every week, one new video. Also, with the comments, leave a comment below. Like I said, if there's something that I covered in this video or in a previous video that you maybe didn't understand or you wanted to see, let me know what that is. I could either answer it in the comments below, or I may select your question to do a video on. I have a couple coming up based off of comments from fellow subscribers. So, again, this is Ned in the Stone Fisted Prop Shop for Stone Fisted Productions. See you next time.